Good morning. Britain attacked and killed by a sexual predator who should have been in prison. A catalogue of errors by probation staff led to killer Jordan McSweeney being free and out on the streets to kill Zara Alina, the law graduate who was walking home from a night out with friends.
The killer was described as a ticking time bomb and even admitted himself that he was highly likely to re-offend again.
And also this morning, the asylum seeker who posed as a child fleeing the Taliban to enter the UK found guilty of murdering an aspiring Royal Marine.
The question that I'm now asking is, how many others have slipped through the system? How many others have bluffed their way into Britain where we don't know their history and are now living, and walking free in this country?
Fighting for his political career, the Prime Minister orders an investigation into Nadeem Zahawi's £5 million settlement after admitting questions need answering over the former Chancellor's taxes.
Well, Mr Zahawi will stay in his job while an inquiry looks into whether he broke the ministerial code. And if all that sounds rather familiar, well, yes, instead of waiting for Sue Gray, we're now waiting for Sir Laurie Magnus.
And the archbishops are taking on the government. We find out why the church is calling for a radical redesign of England's broken social care system.
Well, he's already wowed us in the ring, but are there truths in those romance rumours, or has Joey Essex put his dating drama on ice? Well, let's ask the man himself. He joins us live after 8 this morning.
A divided start to the day, cloudy and mild in the north, cold and foggy in the south. The outlook warms up. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 24th of January, 2023, live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Ed Balls.
Good morning, Britain. It has just gone 6 o'clock. Welcome to the programme. There's two particularly horrific crime stories, aren't there, this morning, Ed? We've got the terrible report into the failures of the probation service, which led this awful person, Jordan McSweeney, to be out of prison and able to attack Zara Alina, this brave young woman who said, I'm going to walk home at night because that's what I should be allowed to do as a citizen in my home city. An absolutely shocking case. He had already served 9 prison terms for crimes including burglary, theft, possession of an offensive weapon. I mean, how he was possibly deemed to be medium risk will come as a matter of concern to anybody. And then you have this asylum seeker, this man who was 18 years old when he arrived in the UK, saying that he was fleeing the Taliban, was actually, he claimed to be 14.
I know.
He claimed to be a child. And as a result, the local council said, well, we had to treat him as a child. He went to a foster carer's home. He went to school in Bournemouth. And the local MP says, goodness me, where are the rigorous checks?
Well, I mean, the thing is with this case, he had been convicted of drug offences in Italy. He had been involved in murders in Serbia, and he'd had his asylum application in Norway turned down a few days before. And it does make you wonder why that information isn't being shared between the authorities in Italy, Serbia, and Norway. How could this have not been across the desks? Because it was years between him coming in, claiming to be 14, and then the offence.
And as a result of him being here and getting through that system, he stabbed to death an aspiring Royal Marine. Two utterly tragic cases. Obviously, there's a lot of politics around this morning, and we will talk to Andrew and Kevin about that in just a moment. But let's start with that shocking report by the probation watchdog, which has highlighted a catalogue of failings which left a serial offender to murder the law graduate Zara Alina 9 days after he was released from jail.
Jordan McSweeney was sent to prison last month after he admitted killing the 35-year-old as she walked home in East London last year. We can speak to Jonathan Swain, who's in Ilford, where the attack took place. And Jonathan, once again, we have a story,